We are hours away from what's arguably the biggest moment in our state's immigration debate. A live look now from our nation's capital as the U.S. Supreme Court prepares to decide the fate of SB 1070 once and for all. But before the hearing even gets started, we're confirming a new twist here. Senate Democrats are about to introduce a fallback bill. It would basically block 1070 from being implemented if it's upheld by the Supreme Court. But that only happens if this fallback bill even gets passed. As always with the immigration debate, protests are already popping up in the Valley. A vigil just wrapping up in the last few minutes. And earlier, students marching downtown. Our own Steve Irvin continues our coverage in Washington, D.C. And Steve, all of this comes on a very important anniversary.
It was exactly 2 years ago today that Governor Brewer signed SB 1070 into law and really created a firestorm that hasn't subsided ever since. Well, this week, a showdown here in Washington, which could ultimately decide the fate of the law. Tomorrow, here on Capitol Hill, a Senate committee will hear testimony and very different versions of that law's effect here in Arizona. And then on Wednesday, the Supreme Court hears arguments which could ultimately make a difference as to whether that law takes effect.
America deserves better. We're on our way to the Supreme Court. I predict a 5-4 or a 5-3 win, just like we did in Players. It's the same argument.
It has nothing to do in terms of securing the border. It has nothing to do in terms of trying to curb a broken immigration problem. What this has done has polarized our state.
Governor Brewer is here in Washington this week. She has declined an opportunity to testify before that Senate committee tomorrow, but she is expected to attend the arguments before the Supreme Court on Wednesday morning. Whatever is decided here, it will really decide the fate of the law itself. The Supreme Court expected to rule on injunctions which struck down some of the key provisions in the law, including one that allows officers to inquire about immigration status. That ruling isn't expected to take place until sometime this summer, but the fireworks will certainly take place this week. In Washington, Steve Irvin, ABC 15 News.
A weather alert as